Welcome to Roberts & Co. I'm jeweller Barry Roberts, and today I need to make a small batch of one of our daintiest rings, but in one of our largest finger sizes, Z+4, one of the largest finger sizes available here in the UK. So I'm going to share with you how I do that. And I need to get cracking because it's already beyond lunchtime, and three of these need to be in the post by 5 PM. At Roberts & Co, we're passionate about not only creating high quality jewellery but also making sure our creations fit every individual perfectly. We understand that each one of us is unique and our ring sizes are no exception. Unlike many jewellers who choose to limit their offerings to a narrow range of the most popular sizes, we have chosen a different path. We believe that each customer is special and their jewellery should reflect their unique persona, not only be confined by popular trends or average sizes. We're proud to say that we make our rings in all UK sizes from A to Z, and some styles we go even beyond to A to Z plus 6. This means that no one's left behind and everyone can find their perfect fit with us. This commitment to inclusivity and personalisation sets us apart in a market often focused on mass production. We're not just most jewellers, we take pride in our craft and the individuality of our customers. This dedication to a more personalised approach has resonated with our patrons, making us not just another jeweller but a trusted partner in celebrating their unique stories and milestones. Our promise is to continue this dedication, to continue respecting your individuality and to continue crafting jewellery that fits you perfectly, because at Roberts & Co we believe that your jewellery should be as unique as you are. So today I'm using 1mm sterling silver round wire. I didn't make this wire myself, I got it from our bullion dealer. The same bullion dealer we use as if I were making the wire myself, so still responsibly sourced, 100% recycled. Now if you've watched previous videos or follow our social media content, you'll know we have all the equipment to make our own wire from raw materials, go from bullion right to finished product. However, when I started out, when I first started out, one of the first things I learned was soldering, stone setting, all the basics. However, when I first started out selling Roberts & Co wedding bands, we would get, our bullion dealer would make the blanks. And we had to, they were semi-finished, again, responsibly sourced, 100% recycled, but they would come in as actual rings and we had to finish them, size them and polish them. And that was a learning curve, a lot of frustration, but eventually success. I learned to polish them. I want to say mastered the art of polishing, but I'm still effing about finding out now with new polishes, new mops, new processes. So I got good at polishing the rings, first of all. That was the first thing. So the process of making rings, we kind of did in backward steps. I learned to polish them first of all, then once I'd done that, we were selling rings, used the revenue from that to the next step was forming our own blanks. So invested in ring forming equipment, and again, buying wire to form in the forming equipment. So again, that's a learning curve. Failure, frustration, eventually success. I already knew how to solder, but there was a learning curve. So then I'm making my own blanks. I'd already learned to polish them, one step. Obviously the aim was to go from selling finished wedding rings to the public, but having the whole supply chain in-house. So once I mastered the art of forming our own rings, it was then, if you want to make a 2mm by 1mm D, although the bullion dealers supply D-shaped wire, they might not necessarily have the size you want. So you can buy 2.3 by 1.5. They don't have a great selection of, say, core or other fancy shapes. So the next step after learning to form basic shapes in whatever profiles were available was then making our own, reshaping wire. So still buying wire, but say we would buy 2.3 by 1.5, I then got a draw bench and draw plates, and I could then make my own, I could then turn the 2.3 by 1.5, I could reshape it using a draw bench and draw plates into 2x1 or other shapes, other sizes. Again, real learning curve. Failure, frustration, ultimately success, a little bit more failure and frustration. but eventually nailed it. And all of these processes, once I was making my own wire, kind of altered the soldering process. The bullion dealers make beautiful wire, not necessarily in all the sizes you want, but we had to adapt the soldering technique we were using once we were making our own wire. So again, it adds the whole thing's a learning curve. If you try to go from molten metal to polishing rings in one cut, it would be, I think the way I did it as backward steps, in hindsight, if I had to do it all over again, that's the way I'd do it. I would definitely not start from pouring molten metal and trying to end up with a wedding ring. Every step is a learning curve, and I learned backwards basically. I learned backwards, and I'm glad I did. So then after once I'd perfected reshaping wire that the bullion dealer was making, then it was time to actually start melting precious metals, making our own ingots, and then turning that into wire, and then ultimately all the steps. But again, melting precious metals and turning that into wire, huge learning curve. Failure, frustration, eventually success. Still effing about finding out with that as well. There's still a lot to learn about the process. Ultimately, and again, there's still another backward step, and that would be sort of experiment with our own colours of rose gold and red gold. You can mix your own alloys, but again, that will be a very expensive learning curve. But in time, I'll do it. But yeah, today is we've skipped a step along the process for no other reason other than speed and I guess convenience. But for many jewellers, along their journey backwards, when you're starting out, they have no choice, because the equipment required to make your own wire is a big investment, a lot of steep learning curve, and you have to work your way towards that. So today, for speed, which comes at a cost, because the way bullion dealers earn their money is, it's a well-trodden route to market, but the way bullion dealers earn their money, without going too deep into the cost aspects, but say this had whatever metal this was, it had a market value of £10 a unit, whatever a unit is. They will buy scrap from multiple sources, or what's considered scrap from all over the place, different industries. They would pay for instance £8 or £9, so 10 or 20% under the going rate under the market price for bullion. Then they will do a lot of work, and it is a lot of work. They'll refine it they'll clean it, refine it, put it back into its component parts, and then they can sell it as bullion to people like me at the market price, or maybe fractionally above, £10 a unit. But where they really make their money is processing it into, say, wire like this. Then, instead of £10 a unit, the market price, they can sell it for, say, £12 a unit. So their spread, their profit is considerable, but it's a lot of work for individuals like me, whereas even for them it's a lot of work, but they've got factories with a lot more equipment than I have, and I can't make wire as long as they can. I don't have the equipment to do it, or a unit wide enough. I can a meter, 2 meters, 2 meters, 3 meters. I can only make a piece of wire as wide as the room I've got. But anyway, that's what we're using today. Back to work.
Shaping the perfect ring shank is an art, and like any art, it requires the right tools. At Roberts & Co, we understand the need for precision, and that's why we use the Durston 7-piece ring shank bender. This tool provides us with the flexibility and control we need to form the ideal ring shank, seamlessly transforming a simple piece of wire into a symbol of elegance. The Durston ring shank bender comes with 7 bending dies, allowing us to form various sizes of ring shanks from our carefully crafted wire. Each die is meticulously engineered, ensuring every bend is smooth and precise, thereby maintaining the wire's structural integrity throughout the process. But while the tool is fantastic on its own, at Roberts & Co we like to enhance its capabilities even further. Enter Delrin dies. Delrin, a high-strength plastic, is the perfect addition to our toolkit, and its pairing with the Durston bender has been nothing short of remarkable. As any jeweller would know, one of the common issues we face when bending wire is the tool leaving marks on the piece. This can detract from the beauty of the jewellery and requires additional polishing steps to remove. That's where Delrin dies come in. Due to its non-marring properties, Delrin doesn't leave marks on the wire, which is a major plus in our book. Using Delrin dies with our Durston bender, we ensure the formation process remains smooth, retaining the wire's pristine finish even as we shape it into a ring shank. This attention to detail, the combination of quality tools and innovative technologies, allows us to craft not just jewellery but pieces of timeless beauty. At Roberts & Co we believe that every piece of jewellery we create should be an exemplification of craftsmanship and quality, and with tools like the Durston 7-piece ring shank bender and Delrin dies, we achieve exactly that. Crafting a ring from wire is a delicate process, and at Roberts & Co we've honed this craft into a fine art. Our key to success lies in the initial stage of ring formation and lining up the joint to perfection. Pliers in hand, we carefully shape the wire into a ring. The goal here is not yet the perfect circular shape, but to ensure the joint is flawlessly lined up. Why? Because the success of the next stage, soldering, depends entirely upon it. We take great pride in creating a joint that's so close fitting it doesn't require any filler. Instead, we employ a fascinating natural phenomenon, capillary action. This process allows solder to be drawn up into the joint from beneath, effectively sealing it with a clean, unnoticeable join. At this stage we remain untroubled by the ring's shape. Our primary focus is the joint. As we know, the final form of the ring will emerge in due time. By prioritising a seamless joint over immediate aesthetics, we lay a foundation for a ring that will not only be structurally robust, but will also possess a timeless beauty associated with all Roberts & Co creations.
Okay, that's 12 rings soldered together. They'll be in the pickle for a while because I use cold pickle at the minute. I don't like the fumes of hot pickle. Now, if you're watching this and you're just starting out, or you've had a little go at soldering before, you're probably thinking, how's he done that? Because I remember back when I was starting out, 12 rings in a row, no chance, and it's just practice. When everyone starts out soldering, it's failure, frustration. You learn nothing from success. It's just you learn from the fails. So at first, don't get it hot enough, the solder doesn't flow properly, and then you get it too hot, you end up with a little puddle, or a reticulated soldered joint. It takes practice. You have to be prepared to fail, as long as you're not doing anything dangerous or putting your it's not platinum, you're not putting the whole business at stake. Unfortunately, it's not like painting where you're just ruining a piece of perfectly good paper. Precious metals are expensive, and don't practice on 18 karat gold, practice on silver, but still it's expensive compared to other materials. But you're probably better off practicing on silver than say copper or that. If that's all you've got, then that's all you've got. But yeah, you can collect it and keep it and send it for scrap, but there's still an expense involved in that. I would expect, I'm only making 12 of these because this Z+4 is not a popular size by any stretch, especially in a 1mm for a 1mm wide ring. If it were one of the popular finger sizes, sort of IJ through to OP, I'd probably make a batch of 100. And even though I've made hundreds of this particular design of ring, thousands of rings over the span of my career, I would still expect at least one or two joints to fail when I size them to split, and they would just need redoing. And probably maybe, I want to say one, maybe two. One will be human error, my error, just the solder won't have flowed, maybe it wasn't clean enough, wasn't flush enough. So I'm still looking at probably a 2 to 3, because I do make large batches. I'm still looking, even now, after decades of doing this and thousands of rings, I'm still looking at a 2 to 3% failure rate. But when I was starting out, you're looking at 100% failure rate. You've just got to persevere. Failure, frustration, and ultimately success. But yeah, you don't learn anything from success. Don't learn anything from success. I can't even say it, apart from the sweet smell of success.
At Roberts & Co, meticulous attention to detail defines our craftsmanship. Once the soldering process of our 1mm silver stacking rings is complete, we begin a crucial cleanup operation to ensure absolute perfection. The freshly soldered rings find their way into our pickle solution, a specially formulated bath designed to remove any residual flux, fire scale and oxides. This stage is critical in preserving the aesthetic and structural integrity of the rings. But our pursuit of excellence doesn't end there. Each ring, now free of impurities, undergoes a rigorous inspection process. Our aim is to identify any surplus solder, which although minuscule could disrupt the perfect symmetry and smoothness of the ring. To rectify this, we call upon the assistance of our very fine cut escapement files. These files, prized for their petite size and finer cuts compared to needle files, allow us to precisely shave off excess solder. The result? A perfectly smooth solder join that is virtually undetectable. This intricate process showcases the length we go to at Roberts & Co to ensure every piece of jewellery we create embodies our commitment to quality and craftsmanship. Each stacking ring we produce is not just a piece of jewellery but a testament to our dedication and passion. The journey of a ring at Roberts & Co isn't complete once the metal is soldered and cleaned. The subsequent steps in our process are where the magic truly happens. Here each piece of jewellery begins to take its final form, transforming from a simple piece of metal into a beautifully crafted ring. Shaping a ring is an art that requires precision and a delicate touch. We begin by using a triplet, an invaluable tool that gives us the initial ring shape. Guiding the metal with a rawhide mallet, we gently mould the ring around the triplet, taking care to ensure a smooth and even curvature. The rawhide mallet, known for its softer touch, ensures that we can shape the ring without leaving any marks or indentations. But our pursuit of perfection doesn't end there. Once the ring is formed, it's essential that it fits flawlessly. Enter the Durston ring stretcher and reducer, an indispensable tool in our crafting process. With this we can meticulously fine-tune the size of a ring, ensuring its fit is just right. By incrementally stretching or reducing the ring, we can attain an exact fit down to the smallest measurements. Every stage of our process is designed with an unwavering commitment to quality and precision. From shaping on the triplet to perfecting the size on our Durston ring stretcher and reducer, we ensure each ring that leaves our workshops is nothing short of perfect. It is this dedication to the craft that sets Roberts & Co apart in the world of jewellery making. The quest for perfection at Roberts & Co extends far beyond the crafting of a ring. It's about ensuring that every piece of jewellery leaves our studio with a flawless mirror finish, making every detail shine. Our Elmer polishing machine plays an essential role in achieving that gleaming finish. Armed with a selection of felts and mops, each designed with a specific phase of the polishing process, the machine buffs and polishes our rings to perfection. We use an assortment of polishing compounds carefully chosen to bring out the lustre of our precious metals. Once the rings have attained that beautiful mirror finish, we turn our attention to cleaning. After the polishing process, it's crucial to rid the rings of any residual polishing compounds and dirt. For this task, we rely on our Elmer Ultrasonic Cleaner, a piece of equipment that uses high-frequency sound waves to gently and efficiently clean our rings. Post-cleaning, the rings are dried and subjected to a final inspection to ensure the mirror finish is spotless and reflects our standards of excellence. To add the finishing touch, we give each ring a final polish with a soft cloth, ensuring its shine and bringing out the beauty of the metal. At Roberts & Co, our meticulous polishing and cleaning process is a testament to our commitment to delivering not just jewellery, but pieces of art that stand the test of time.
Job done, and just in the nick of time. Z4 1mm round halo rings, some in the post, some in stock. Now, in an ideal world, I'd quite like to do the social media thing, I guess, properly. So make long form content, maybe make a video about a simple ring we stock, then maybe a hero piece, a big diamond ring, maybe some behind the scenes, in-depth look at tools, or possibly how we registered our brand, got the brand registered on Amazon, maybe some useful videos. That would be in an ideal world. However, this is not a contrived situation where today someone's bought some rings, I've got all the component parts, I haven't got them finished. It's not a contrived situation, it's real and it's happening every day, and I can't explain why, and it's been happening now for years. So unfortunately, Roberts & Co, or so, maybe fortunately, Roberts & Co is a jewellery business first with social media. This is not a content creation business with merch that I'm making. So the jewellery business kind of is and the customers are dictating what I've got to do every day. So I guess what I've got to do if I want to create content, which I want to do, is I've got no, there's no end of content I could create. It's not that I'm short of ideas. It's just, I guess what I'm going to have to do is what content creation gurus and young folk would say, share the journey, which is what I'm doing every day, which to some extent is somewhat it follows trends, and there's a repetition in those trends. So the last video I made was the last long form video I made was about making 1mm gold halo rings. Now I'm making silver ones, and the very next job I've got to do is make 9-carat white ones, which I've run out of. I'm not sharing that journey. I would, but that journey's going to have to be quick because I've got to make the wire and the rings in a day. So that is going to start right now, and they're going to be done by tomorrow. So yeah, if I like sharing the journey, it slows the journey down. What keeps happening, whatever I'm running out of, it's not that stock control is impossible. Like predicting the stock runs well, no, I can predict it. Whatever I'm running low of, that's what people want. It's just insane. So with these, I would have made 12 Z4s probably 3 or 4 years ago, because that's how it's an uncommon, unpopular size in 1mm. So they would just trickle out very slowly. That's why I only make 12. In the popular sizes, I'll make 100 at least. So with these, I would have made 12 a year ago. I'm actually down to my last 2 in stock. Guess what? Someone comes along, they want 3. So that's dictating what I've got to do today. Before these, I've got a batch of blanks on my bench for the size M's, which I'm halfway through making. I'm going to share that journey when I tidy up my bench, which I still need to do, I need to do that for 2 years. But what happened was, I would make M's in batches of 100 at least, so they would last months. So I got down to 4 or 5 all of a sudden. So that's on the list of things to do at that point. However, it's not urgent because that they might last a week or so at least. So, but anyway, as soon as I get down to 4 or 5, boom, every day I'm selling 10 or 12 size M 1mm stackers, which is an unprecedented amount to sell in a day, and an unprecedented amount to sell in a day in one single size. For 3 days on the row, I'm selling 10 or 12 1mm stackers in size M, which I don't have. So that was, and then as soon as I've made stock, as soon as I'm on top of it, boom, stops, and they just start trickling out again. And that will happen now. I've made stock of the Z4s. No one's going to want one for months. The ridiculous one, sometimes it is ridiculous. So 2020, I've got a batch of tie clips made, hallmarked, but they need polishing, which is a real time-consuming thing. 2020, no one's supposed to be leaving the house. All formal events are cancelled. No one can go anywhere in a tie clip. There's nowhere to wear a tie. All of a sudden, I get down to my last 2 or 3 tie clips. Vroom, I'm selling 10 a day. As soon as I had 50 to 100 that needed polishing. So again, 2 or 3 days on the spin, I'm polishing tie clips. As soon as I got stock of them, didn't sell any for another 2 years because there was nowhere to go in a tie. So it's just, maybe they were going on a Zoom, maybe everyone decided they needed a tie clip for a Zoom call. But yeah, that just keeps happening. It's unexplainable, and it's frustrating because I'm not, I can't do anything. Just the next week, I'm going from one urgent job to another. It is calming down a little bit now because everyone's broke as a joke, but it still shows no sign of stopping. It's just slowing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little look behind the scenes, and yeah, expect more more of the same. Hopefully, I think next I'll make a video about some tools. Try and mix it up a bit, because on the horizon at the minute it just looks like stacker after stacker. Toodles.